Alright everybody, this Bitcoin indicator has never been wrong before, and as well, this indicator over here is predicting an absolutely crazy target here for Bitcoin, and it also has never been wrong. And as well, of course, I'm still in my big position, $840,000. Let's dive here straight into this video. Very quick update here on my Ethereum and my Bitcoin position. Now, again, my Ethereum position is still up here, $700,000, my Bitcoin $130,000. I'm going to continue to hold this position. It is still going to be the target to at least close this on over $1 million in the coming few days and weeks moving forward. I've been holding this position here, but it is coming closer. The last position closed it on around $600,000, and this one is going to be, in my opinion, the target is going to be over $1 million. And again, I've been holding this position. I've been very clear about this. I shared this trade as well exactly when I was opening it over here, and I've just been hodling it. I've just been waiting and relaxing, and this thing is again moving slowly in my favor. Now, the M2 money supply here for Bitcoin is looking very, very juicy. Now, I've talked about this indicator a couple times before, and the thing is, guys, this is a very, very overhyped indicator. Basically, everyone is talking about the M2 money supply over and over again. At first, I was a little bit skeptical, but after doing a little bit more research into this indicator and looking a little bit at the historical correlation, we do see a very, very strong correlation between the global M2 money supply, the actual liquidity, and the Bitcoin price. Now, we've already seen, and I talked about it in the last video, that gold and the stock market was performing absolutely fabulously. Now, it is very likely that the Bitcoin price is going to follow both of these assets, and that's going to be, again, the main topic here of this video. Now, we do actually know, and this is kind of funny, and there is a theory out there that the Bitcoin price really just doesn't have 4-year cycles, and it's not really based on halving, but it's just purely based here of the M2 money supply, because you're gonna see that historically, whenever the M2 money supply goes up, Bitcoin price tends to follow. When it goes down, it always tends to follow inside a bear market. I mean, look at this over here. Here we had a bear market here back in 2018, right over here as well. And then whenever it moves here to the upside, as you can see over here, it's always a bull market. Like right over here, you can see the exact same thing, big bull market. And then over here, it is again moving here to the upside. So it's very likely the Bitcoin price is going to eventually follow through with that. So it's still moving here to the upside. So I still very much believe that we are going to be hitting those high levels, and that's again why I've been inside this long position for so long, and why I continue to hold this position even though it's up $840,000. I could take profits, but I'm going to continue, and I'm going to wait for much more. Now, you guys know, if you do actually want to trade as me right over here on these exchanges, I do again here have the link in the description. All you have to do is just over here scroll to the description, click over here on this first link, and just sign up here on Blofin. Massive deal here as well, and it's non-KYC, no personal information required. As you guys know, I travel around, was in Europe here a couple of days ago, and I do not like KYC exchanges because there's always problems. So this is the exchange here that you can get here, the Blofin exchange. Just make sure to sign up here if you also want to be trading right over here on this exchange, for example, as well. Here I got the BTCC link and some other links here as well. Just check out here the promotions, just find one that you like. And again, this one is non-KYC. So anyway, moving forward here to the big chart. So we have a couple charts here that I want to talk about. I got this one right over here. This one just completely blew my mind. And this one is very, very accurate. And this one here over here as well. This is the power trend indicator. And I found this article here today, just kind of like scrolling around, you know, doing some research, because I always like to show my trades, and then I like to do a little bit of research and finding a better chart. Now, this indicator over here just completely blew me away, because the power trend indicator is basically, this is based off a famous post here, Bitcoin Talk, from an author called Trollololo from 2014. This is one of the earliest Bitcoin models actually out there, and it is based basically off this formula. I'm not a mathematician, you know, I love politics, I love economics, I love history. I'm not into mathematicians, so whatever it is, but basically it's basically taking the Bitcoin price, and it came up with a model that is extremely accurate, and that's how crazy this is. So again, this model is based from 2014. So this is not just a model that people just kind of just draw a line on the top and they're just like, oh, it's going to be here, and then wherever the Bitcoin price goes, they're going to adjust it, and then it's always going to be correct. But this is just a model that has been based basically 10 years ago, and it's been correct every single time. So we have to take this model very, very seriously. And that's also why I say, guys, it's like I have my long position open here. Everybody's talking about the Bitcoin price topping out. Well, we have this model here, which is basically saying that the 97%, so this is going to be the top level, basically, like it has been hit every single time. Last time it was predicting at 70,000, then over here at 11,000, and over here it was predicting in 2013 here at $400. And every single time, hit it every single time. Now we can actually see here that in the last bull run, we kind of didn't go as far. We kind of like slightly touched here the red line, and then we came back to the downside. The last few times before that, we actually cut into this red line. So now let's just say, even for the sake here of being conservative, if we are going to be moving here to the 83% percentile, that is still going to point us here at the target here of $200,000. And again, every single time we've hit over here this red area, and then for this cycle, we would, apparently according to this model, go to $400,000, which I don't think that is completely impossible. I think a much more better conservative target here is going to be the $200,000. Now, as I told you guys here earlier here, every single time we've hit this red line, and so we could hypothetically go to $400,000, but you can actually see that actually the intensity of hitting this red line actually does go down. So even though this indicator has been extremely accurate, I would say that it's probably the red is a little bit too positive. I think probably the 83 percentile is probably going to be the level that's going to be hit, and that's still going to be the conservative target. We might overshoot it a little bit, go to 250K, 300K, 400K seems a little bit unreasonable for me. I mean, if you do want to move to that level, I'm not going to be selling my Bitcoin. So if you actually move to that level, I am going to be very filthy rich. So if my quote-unquote prediction is going to be wrong, which, by the way, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm a random guy on the internet, then that's still going to be hyper good for me. But regardless of that, I think we're still going to see this big Bitcoin bull run, this big blow off top basically at the end of the year. We haven't even gotten that. According to this indicator as well, we should be getting it at least at like a $200,000, at least at the 83.5 percentile. And we as well got this indicator right over here. This is basically an adjusted version here as well. And this has a little bit more of a conservative approach. And this one is also here saying that, let's say, we are going to be moving here to this all-time high. Then this is actually saying we're going to be moving to $300,000. I say it's still too bullish, but I would say that's a little bit more realistic. And again, if we move to that level, it's going to be fine. But then we're still going to get that big correction to the downside. And that's going to tie here into my next chart. And again, guys, I do want you guys to understand here. Again, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be buying Bitcoin at the next Bitcoin bear market. I'm accumulating as much fiat as possible. I'm doing it in all sorts of different ways. Whatever ways I possibly can, I'm trying to accumulate fiat. I'm going to buy it in the next bear market bottom. So one of the things I'm doing here is the trading. So these platforms here that I have, for example, if you want to start trading as well, you can check out here the link in the description. They're non-KYC. That's basically what I'm doing here. I'm trying to find as many different ways I can possibly make money, so I can buy in the next Bitcoin bear cycle. And this indicator here, the major multiple bands here, is again basically showing us that the Bitcoin price just kind of ping-pongs between these bands here. And currently, what we can again see here is that we are cutting very aggressively here in this red line in this 2013 cycle. Then 2017, a little bit less. We're just kind of slightly touching it. And then in 2021, we're like really, really lightly touching it. So the intensively again goes down. And I think this cycle, we're not going to hit the red line, but at a minimum, we can hit this orange line. This orange line is currently sitting here at $220,000. So I still think in the coming few months moving forward, 2-3 months moving forward, we're going to hit that level. We're going to get that big correction to the downside. We're going to go to 70K. That's when I'm going to be buying. We're going to be again moving into this blue line here, in this blue zone. And in that level, eventually, we're going to reverse. We're going to move to the upside. So let's look at the conservative indicator out there. This one is also saying that in the next cycle, so 2029, where we're going to be. Well, this conservative target is saying we're going to be at 1 million. But even less conservative target would put us at $500,000. So that's just what I'm doing. If you can buy a couple Bitcoin at 70K, like you can literally go from 70K to $500,000. And again, I'm not a financial advisor, but just historical data, what the indicators are saying. If it is going to be the case, from 70K to 500K, that's still going to be an 8x return. So if you're going to be buying $1 million, at 70K, you're going to have 15 Bitcoin, goes to $500,000. What are you looking at? You're looking at, $7 million, $8 million. It's absolutely insane. So if it does go up, it's nice. I could potentially take profits. I also have to pay some tax over it, but I'm more interested in just buying the bottom. And if we do go to higher targets, 400, 500K, I'm not really going to sell my Bitcoin anyway. I'm just trying to accumulate fiat. And if it then overshoots a target, nice, I'm going to be rich. And if we do come back down, I can buy more. So it's a very solid strategy, and I'm just going to employ that. It's basically no stress. The only bad thing would be if we were to crash lower than 70k, which I think isn't going to happen. I don't think the system is built on that, for that, the financial system. Anyway, with that, I'm going to end this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, make sure you like, subscribe. And again, want to start trading, I have a link here in the description. I'm holding my position, so nothing is going to change. So if you also want to trade and you're also long, great for you. Anyway, that will end the video. Hope to see you guys here in my next video. Bye-bye.